What's going on, gang? We're back. Episode 2. And I recorded this episode, or attempted to record this episode, around earlier today. And when I finished, I was going to watch it back on my laptop. I did use Photo Room on my laptop, and then I have my phone as the camera, which you could use Bluetooth or whatever it is to use the camera on your phone and record it on Photo Room. But I went to go watch back the video, and it said the file was corrupted. So it was just a gray screen with the play button and then like a line through it. So I wasn't able to use that video. And I was pretty bummed. I was like, damn, how am I going to be able to talk about what I was going to talk about? But I guess that's the beauty in life. There's two sides to every coin. And one side, I could be upset about the video not being usable. And on the other side, I have a brand new chance to make a video. So we're back again, making a new video. And today, I guess I just want to talk about two things. Guess jumping right into it, my work ethic and work. So growing up, I was always big into sneakers, basketball shoes, KDs, LeBrons, and then I moved into other shoes like Jordans and Yeezys, and NMDs were really big at the time, Ultra Boosts, just Air Max 1s, the Sean Witherspoon Air Max 1s are my holy grail. And I remember I was in round 2 in New York City with my parents and my sister, and they were selling them for $350. And my mom was like, I don't think your foot's done growing, so I think we should wait. And I agreed. I probably could have bought them, but I didn't. My foot hasn't grown, and now they're $1,200 retail, or not retail, resale. Anyways, I've always been passionate and interested in clothing and sneakers. And there was a clothing store near my house called Ren Arts. Sneakers, clothing, and I just always wanted to work there. And I was never able to have the chance or get the chance to work at the store. So my first, I guess, legit job was working in a pool store called Leslie's Pool Spas and Services. Thanks for calling Leslie's Pool Spa Service and Repair. This is Jake. How may I help you? Yeah, that was me answering the phone. I would test people's water. I would bring bags of salt to their car. Just basically, I did not enjoy that job. It was just standing around in a store, talking to my coworkers. Yeah, and I did not enjoy the work, like going to work, being there for a certain amount of time. The actual work I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed the people, but not the work. So then the following summer, I ended up recruiting one of my college buddies and two of my home friends to come work at that pool store. And it was a great time. But I still did not enjoy the work. I found myself not happy to go to work, not interested in going to work, and ultimately I quit a month and a half before I was going back to college. Looking back on it, I probably should have just grinded it out and made an extra however much money I would have made and went to school with that security blanket of a little more money. But I didn't. And yeah, I always thought that just from that experience, that regular work wasn't for me. And I would see online people making money in social media marketing or SaaS or drop shipping or even just making content. And I thought that's what I wanted to do and I want to do. But I really enjoy just making this content just for myself. I think it's fun, it's a cool exercise, and if somebody gets something good from it, then I've done my job. And I get something good from it too. So selfishly, I'm happy with that. But I then found out about a store called Heat Archive in Columbus. I went to school at Ohio State, and my buddy GK put me on to Heat Archive. They were around for a couple years beforehand in a different location, and then they moved to basically the heart of campus. And I really wanted to get a job there. My junior year, I would go there, buy a bunch of clothes, sneakers, sell some stuff. Basically asked if I could work there, and they said no, they didn't really need anything, looking for someone a little older. So then come my senior year of school, which was this past year, I made an effort to try to get a job there. And I ended up talking to one of the owners, Andrew, and he was like, yeah, like let's get it. Let's get after it. So I got a job there. And in the back of my mind, I remembered how, I guess, annoying it is to go to work, or how I felt about work when I worked at Leslie's. But this was completely different. I would go in the mornings and package up shipments that they sold via live stream on Whatnot, which is a live stream auction. So I would go in the mornings, print the shipping labels, package up the boxes, and get them ready to be shipped out later that day. I think I would go in around 7:30 in the mornings, Monday to Friday, and I would package anywhere from 100 to 200 boxes. And I really enjoyed the work. It was tedious, it was hard in the aspect of getting up, getting to the store, and just doing the work. And I really enjoyed seeing all the items in the beginning, then seeing the stacks of boxes when I was finished. That was very satisfying, in my opinion. Just seeing my work transmute into a finished product. And working at Heat Archive with the individuals who worked there, I really learned a lot, specifically from the owners. There are 3 owners that went to high school together, and they just grind. They were selling shoes out of their car, and then they built up enough money, enough inventory, created a store on Summit, and then moved onto High Street. And I took away this one idea that all you have is the work, and in order to be successful, you need to work hard and love the work. You don't need to love it as that's the only thing you want to do, but you need to love it in the sense that you need to understand how important putting in work is. Because without putting in work and giving up energy and doing something, you're not going to be able to achieve anything. You need to give in order to receive. That's, I guess, a universal law. You're not just going to get something for free, and you're not just going to get something because you want it. There are tens of thousands, if not millions, of people that want to own their own business and want to do things, but they don't put in the work to achieve those things. And these individuals, these 3, Andrew, Matt, and Griffin, they really showed to me how to grind, the importance of the grind. And not only that, but they're just some great people. They took me in like I was one of their own. We became friends. I went out with them. Me and my older friend, Chad, we went to Fanatics Fest in New York City at the Javits Center. And it was a big sports card show. There's a lot of athletes there, a lot of money. There's probably at least over $100 million worth of cards there, from what I think. And Griffin was there, one of the owners of Heat Archive. Texted him. I was like, we got to link up. And we ended up meeting up at the card show, walked around a bunch, just chopped it up. Him and Chad were chopping it up. It was cool. And then we left the card show and went to Danny and Coop's in East Village. It's Bradley Cooper's cheesesteak place. And it was fire. We grabbed cheesesteaks. The only thing on the menu is their one cheesesteak. Then we ate it in a park. just super chill. And it was awesome. And that got me thinking, for me working at this one store, I was able to build some friends that I could hang out with outside of the store, and just people I could shoot ideas with and text and stay up to date with. And I grew my circle more than just the people in my fraternity. I built a whole new group of friends. Going back to working at Heat Archive, other than going in the mornings, I would start working on Sundays, and this was during the NFL season, and we would just get a big pizza pie from Adriatico's, possibly some wings, place a 4 to 5 leg touchdown parlay, and just work and bool. It was cool. It was one of the better experiences in my college life, was working at Heat Archive. Got to do a bunch of things, got to meet a bunch of people. And Keon, he was one of the dogs who worked there too. He still does. He really inspired me to make YouTube videos, so I appreciate you. He was talking about how he wanted to make videos, and I would always talk about Bitcoin to him and Isaac. Keenan definitely was there too, listening to me talk about Bitcoin, and Tan. I love Bitcoin, so I'm gonna speak about it. But he was saying how you need to just make a video and just talk. So that's what we're doing now. And this episode may not be about Bitcoin, but it somehow has woven into a lot of aspects of my life. But from seeing Andrew, Matt, Griffin, Isaac, Keenan, Keon, Tan, Will, they're all grinders. The Heat Archive family, they're a bunch of go-getters, and I really appreciated that, and I witnessed that firsthand, and that's something that I'm gonna bring into my life now, working at a different company, in a different city, trying to make a name for myself. I'm just gonna get after it and let the work speak instead of my words. Let my actions, well, your actions definitely do speak louder than your words. So if I go to work every day and I'm the first one in, last one out, and I'm networking, that's the biggest point, or the biggest part, in my opinion, is the networking. Because I could have went to Heat Archive, I could have worked there, could have been friendly, but I didn't have to become friends with these people. They didn't have to become friends with me. We hit it off for a reason. And I think networking is very important, because that's how you get your name in front of other people. That's how you get invited to the table. That's how you get your foot in the door. And without building that network, you stay in the same place. So I really learned that hard work, determination, grit, like, that's what it takes to do real things and build an actual business and grow the business. So I'm very appreciative of the Heat Archive family. They taught me a lot, and it was just an amazing experience. So if you're ever in the Columbus area, the 43201, go check out Heat Archive. Check them out on Instagram, on TikTok, Whatnot. I don't know if they still do Whatnot streams, but yeah, just some great people, great store. And it takes a lot of work, hard work, to move and sell millions of dollars worth of shoes, or Gucci purses, or sunglasses, or streetwear, whatever it may be. It's not easy, and they make it seem easy because they put in the work. It's cool. I see them as a younger round two. So yeah, just keep at it, gang. Y'all doing some real good work. But I don't know. I guess I thought I didn't like working, but I actually really enjoy working and putting in effort to achieve something. That something just has to be correlated with my passion and what I'm interested in. I'm not just going to put in work for something I don't want to do, or something that I'm not intrigued by. it needs to revolve around the same sun. That sun incorporates the different aspects of life that I'm interested in, whether that's fashion or golf or money and finances and markets and investing or friendships and talking and communication. And at the center of that is work. In order to achieve anything, you need to put in the work and put in the effort and the energy. I really got interested in UFC. And these motherfuckers put in the work. Like, this is the closest thing we have to warriors fighting in the Coliseum, fighting to death. They are fighting to death in the aspect of trying to beat the person on the other side of the octagon, and they're definitely trying to not kill them. Although they can't kill them, there's a referee in there which would stop a fight before that happens. Obviously, crazy things can happen, and someone could hit their head on the canvas and die, God forbid, but that could happen. But looking at champions of the sport, which is UFC, like Merab, he is a sick individual and sick in the aspect of hard work. He is always running, he's always training, he's always pushing his body to get better. And that's why he's able to manhandle people like Sean O'Malley, who the people love Sean O'Malley. And he has this knockout power and these hands that are fluent and he's dirty. He's a nice fighter, but Merab, it's a different animal. He's a champion. He is putting in the work to beat you, to dominate you. Or if you want to dominate, you need to put in the work, whether that's a UFC fighter or that's Heat Archive, putting in the work, building their brand, growing their brand, and just getting it in front of a lot of people. UFC fighters, I really have respect for them. They endure a lot of pain, and they put themselves through this pain. But every time they go through this pain, they get a little bit stronger. And I think we all can learn something from these UFC fighters in doing things that are hard. And once you continue doing them and working hard at it, they become less and less difficult. And then you find new areas to attack, which are hard and difficult and challenging. But then over time, you get better and you become more efficient at these things, challenges, tasks, whatever it may be. I think UFC is my favorite sport to watch. Two dudes, two females, just battling it out. And the cool thing about YouTube is you can go and watch anything, really, if it was recorded. So I looked up UFC 3, and they really used to do it. They did it crazy back then. I think UFC 400 does something like this, it would break the internet. So what UFC, the early days of UFC was, it was tournament style, say 12 people, and 2 people would fight, the winner moves on. 2 more people would fight, the winner moves on. And it was just, if you won, you would have 4 fights in a night. And there were no weight classes, there were no rules. You could throw crazy knees when you're on the ground, when you can't even throw those knees today. I saw people throwing crotch shots, the craziest shit, just pummeling them. And it doesn't get called. There's no penalty for it. There were no rules. It was brawls. Those were fights. And yes, they fight now, but those are like street fights. It could be a 155-pounder versus someone who's 200 pounds, and you may think that's not fair. But if you get into a street fight, you're not asking the dude what his weight is or what weight class he's in. You're trying to survive. And that's what these dudes were doing. I saw one of the fights, there was no time limit, and it went 35 minutes of just jiu-jitsu on the ground, moving around. This guy had a fighter who was probably 40 pounds more heavier than him on top of him, and he was on the ground. And after 35 minutes, he just submitted him. And I think to myself now, there's rounds, the referee can separate them if there's no action at certain points. There's a lot of rules with the eye poking, and which there definitely should be. But I think this tournament style of fighting is the true depiction of the greatest fighter in the world. And yeah, we have the pound for pound rankings, and what, Topuria's number 1, Khamzat's number 2 maybe. But what if John Jones was in there with Topuria, and Dricus Du Plessis, Leon Edwards is in there, like Khabib's in there, McGregor? What if all of these dudes fight in a tournament style? That's how you really know who's the greatest fighter. And yeah, the weight classes, it's definitely needed, but they should have these events every so often. I think it would do great things for the sport. I was watching UFC 318 this past weekend. It was Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, and Conor McGregor first got me into the UFC. He got me into the sport. And Dustin Poirier, I remember, he beat Conor McGregor twice. He lost the first fight in, I think, 2014, and then beat him twice in 2021. And I didn't really like Dustin Poirier. I was like, damn, Conor McGregor's my boy, and he lost, and how could I? So I never really supported him. I never really was a fan of him. Always had respect for what he's done, because he's a dog. He is a hard worker. He has grit. He doesn't give up. He's always working, and that's respectable. I watched the hype video for the UFC card in the main event, and it was showing Max Holloway's past and his whole history, and showing Poirier's. And Max Holloway's first fight in the UFC was against Dustin Poirier, and Dustin submitted him. Their second fight, it went 3 rounds, or it was a 5-round fight. It was for the interim lightweight champion, and Dustin won by decision. So I'm watching this, and Max Holloway has a saying, I don't want to butcher it. I don't know what the saying is off the top of my head, so I'm just going to put a picture of it right here.
You shouldn't even give up. Like, what is that? Like, that, if you give up, you certified a loser. If you try, you at least win in your book.
And it just really stuck out to me. I thought, there's no way he's going to let Dustin win 3 times against him. There's no way he's going to quit. And Dustin was fighting his retirement fight in Louisiana, where he's from. And that's also added fuel to the fire. Max Holloway, he probably wants to ruin his hopes of winning his last fight in his hometown with a hometown crowd, and he wants to not tarnish his legacy, because his legacy isn't tarnished, but he wants to put that fire out. So come fight night, I'm watching the whole card, the early prelims, the prelims, and the first fight, I swear to you, these two girls fought. These two beasts, these two animals fought, and Carly Judas, this is her name. She won by, I think, a flying knee, but she was piecing up this girl the whole fight. And I was like, she had braids too, and I was like, is this Sean O'Malley? I swear to you, this girl, Carly Judas, looked like Sean O'Malley, and she was so clean with the hands. She's gonna be a force to reckon with. I don't know what weight class she's in, but that was a dog fight. This last card was pretty legit. Kevin Holland lost. I honestly saw that coming. Paulo Costa won. He beat, I'm not sure what his name is. I really don't know what his name is, but he was an underdog, Paulo Costa. He's been in there with some dogs, and he won. It was just a cool card overall. And then the main fight, Dustin versus Max. They both got dropped in the fight. It was a dogfight, went 5 rounds, and then Max, he pointed to the ground as he does, and he's like, let's fucking get it. Last 10 seconds, let's scrap. So they're throwing haymakers, and Max hits him with a clean right, and then Dustin just wraps him up, and he probably didn't want to get hit anymore. That definitely hurt. He probably got stunned. 10 seconds, you don't want to get knocked out. I understand if you leave it all out there, leave your heart on the floor. Heart on the field is the saying. But he probably wasn't trying to get rocked in Louisiana in his last fight. Respectable. But then there's the other side where you're a warrior. You should go all out. Either way, Max Holloway ended up winning the decision. But then I saw Max Holloway's son talk so nicely and professionally, and he was just thanking Dustin for the chance and thanking him for the opportunity, and the interaction between them was so wholesome. Dustin was like, your dad's a great dude, he's a warrior. And they fought hard. So respect to Dustin, respect to Max, and that was also for the BMF, the baddest mother effer. Yeah, UFC is great. I don't know where I was going with that other than, and I don't have to go anywhere with anything I say. Just because I want to talk to a camera doesn't mean I have to have a set script or a plan or a regimen of what I'm going to do. But both of those fighters work tenaciously hard. They have grit. And you don't just get to fight for the BMF just because you say so or you want to. That comes with years of hard work and trial and error and getting knocked out, getting submitted, knocking people out, winning by decision, putting in the time, the energy, the effort to then have the chance to fight for the BMF. It was awesome. Commend Dana White. He's done a great job with the UFC, and it's only going to get bigger. There's only going to be more people trying to join the UFC, and it's awesome. It's a great form of entertainment, in my opinion. I like it way better than the NBA. NFL is fun to watch because I do fantasy football, but UFC is definitely my favorite sport. Also soccer, football. I call it soccer. We in the U.S., my boy. But internationally, football. That's also very entertaining to watch. I used to think it was boring, but as I've maybe matured and understand the work it takes to be able to run around for 90 minutes like that, it's pretty cool. Also, like, I don't know what is going on with LeBron and why he is just talking all this shit and he's acting like a petty ex-girlfriend. He's bumping to Kendrick Lamar on his vacation, which is cool. You could bump to Kendrick. No hate in that. But just the way he goes about it, and then he leaves the club he's at because they start playing a Drake song. Like, what? Are you serious? And me seeing this, seeing my two goats, my basketball goat, my music goat, two people who I've been enjoying since I'm in 3rd grade, since I could remember. Like, I remember the series against San Antonio with Ray Allen shot. I was in my parents' bed, and they like woke me up because I fell asleep. And I was like, yo! I think they probably rewinded it, and were like, yo, look at this. I remember they gave me the LeBron Beats, that in the ear beats with like the lion logo on it. I remember teaching my maybe 5th grade class how to draw the King James logo, the L, the J with the crown. And Drake, he's always been my guy. I remember in 6th grade, I'm in social studies class and I'm singing line for line with my boy Nico. And we're going singing Legend, just line for line, in class. Like, both of those people have been important in my life. And now I'm seeing them fight, and I feel I have to choose a side on some crazy shit. I think I have to choose a side, like I'm so important. Like me choosing a side matters, which it doesn't. But to me, I'm choosing Drake. Like, he's acting a little funny for me to be supporting it. So right now, it's not Team Kendrick or Team Drake, it's Team LeBron versus Team Drake. And we just signed to OVO. So, sorry, Bron, but do what you gotta do. On the note of LeBron, I find it so crazy how the media just shits on Bronny, or they did. They were saying how he's not ready to be in the NBA, how he's never going to be a good player, how he's never going to do this, which maybe he wasn't ready to be in the NBA. But being around that level of talent, especially if you're a hard worker, which I guess the theme of this video is hard work and grit. Like Bronny has that. He is a hard worker. He has grit. He hasn't given up on the NBA. He's balling out in the G League. He balled out in the Summer League this year. I know, and I see it, he's a great player, and his confidence is rising and getting more and more significant as he plays and gets playing time under his belt. And has LeBron's genetics. He's LeBron's kin. Obviously, he's going to be a freak athlete. So the media builds narratives. They say whatever they want. Bronny, he's a good basketball player, and I think he's going to have a great NBA career. But it all goes back to working hard. You could be gifted with genetics. You could be gifted with your family, your parents having a lot of money, and you don't have to worry about a lot of things. You could be gifted with your communication skills, with your height, with your metabolism, with whatever it may be. But if you don't work hard at the gym, if you don't work hard developing skills, if you don't work hard talking to people and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, you're not going to get anywhere and you're not going to be great. And I want to be great. And I bet you want to be great too. Like, who doesn't want to be great? Who doesn't want to be remembered? I went to a bar in New York City the other week, and it's been around since 1854. Abraham Lincoln drank beers there. I could have drank a beer at the same seat, the same table as Abe Lincoln. And then I think to myself, I want people to be like, damn, Jake Sheps drank a beer here. When you get to a certain stature and you make a significance, and I guess you're great, people want to emulate you and they want to do similar things as you and they want to make the same impact that you made. I really want to make an impact on this world, and I think I am by making these videos, and it helps me, it could help somebody. A bunch of my friends texted me and said, good shit with the video, like, I'm proud of you. Like, I definitely enjoyed hearing that, and it made me feel very good. But then it also, I know in the back of my mind that people, you don't have to reach out, but they went out of their way to tell me this, and very appreciative of that. That it means a lot. I was playing golf yesterday with my boy 3D, and if you know 3D, you know him, and if you don't, that's on you. But he was in my fraternity at school, a couple years younger than me. Great dude. We were playing golf, and we were just talking, and he was like, I really want to go all in on this venture, this idea. He wants to do comedy. And he's so funny, like Shane Gillis funny, just he's himself. He's not trying to crack a joke like the chicken crossed the road type shit. He's just himself and funny, goofy funny. And we were coming up with these ideas, and we did honestly brainstorm a cool idea for him to start comedy and maybe get his foot in the door. So I'm very excited for him to do that. If he does, which he should, and he will. But I also love seeing my friends succeed and find something that they're passionate about. It's an awesome feeling. Like maybe teaching someone about something and then they learn about it and then they succeed in doing something along those lines. That's super cool. A lot of people like to keep and harness all of that good energy and those blessings, and they want all the good things to happen to them. but I want my boys, I want my girls, I want them to eat, I want them to succeed. Like, that is awesome. If me and all my friends could be successful and do great things and things we love to do, that is awesome. Especially if I want to live near my friends. Say we live in the same community. Say we all live on a golf course and we're able to just play golf whenever we want with each other and our kids grow up together. That's cool. I love that. That's something that I aspire to do. But I guess when I went to that bar in the city, I went with two of my college friends, but one of them, Verdun, he is so funny and he just makes me laugh. He's another one of these kids that he's not trying to be funny, and maybe he is sometimes, but he's just himself and he's goofy funny. And when 3D does this comedy thing, Verdun's about to be on there and I'm gonna have Verdun on here and we're just gonna chop it up, talk shit, just be ourselves. And I think he's destined for great things. Not even in comedy, just in life. Some people have this hunger inside and this drive and determination to be great, and that comes with putting in the work and putting in the energy and just letting the universe do its thing. So I'm very excited to see what's in store for these bros, and I got a lot of friends like that, but I don't know what made me mention them. I don't know what made me say that, but other than they've had an impact in my life, a positive impact. So they shall receive or reap the rewards of giving somebody else positive energy. Like, positive energy is coming back to them. And that's that give and take relationship like I talked about, where you need to put in the hard work to achieve something. Nothing great is going to come from me just sitting here behind a camera or me just writing in my journal. You need to then act upon those thoughts or act upon these ideas that I'm sharing or whatever it may be. But thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me the chance to just spew my ideas. Like and subscribe, maybe comment, maybe share it to a friend. I don't know. I was super pissed that my video wasn't working, or I wasn't able to view my video before. But I think this conversation was not a lot better. It was different, and I enjoy how different it was. So with that being said, deuces.